Oh, come on. There we go. All right, welcome to the Periscope YouTube postgame edition for Sunday, July 1st, 2018. Tigers whooped the Blue Jays 9-1 in a fluke. Tigers didn't score any runs until the 5th inning when Nick Castellanos capped off that 5-run inning with a grand slam. Yes, he's good offensively, but he's still bad defensively. His defensive WAR, like I pointed out last night on Spreaker, a negative 1.5. That's from Baseball Reference. Yeah, that's Nick Castellanos' defensive WAR. His DWAR, that stands for defensive WAR. Defensive wins above replacement. A negative 1.5. You see the minus sign before the 1.5? Yeah, you know what that stands for. Jordan Zimmerman was pitching like himself, actually. I have to hand it to him. Improves to 3-0, 7 innings pitched. Just the one run. Just the one run. On 5 hits, no walks, 6 strikeouts, 3.91 ERA still. He's working his way down in terms of ERA. Blaine Hardy only allowed a hit, 3.51 ERA. Shane Green, a 1-2-3 ninth inning. I'm doing this real quickly, so right before the thunderstorm comes past here, I'll have to give credit to the Tigers. At least some of the Tiger players. Not all of them, but some. But only for today. This win doesn't mean anything. It's only one win. The Tigers are still 11 games below 500. (37-48), 11 games below 500, still third place in the AL Comedy Central Division, 9.5 games back of the Cleveland Indians. The Jays are still close to 500, fourth place in the AL East. Very tough to catch up with the Red Sox and Yankees, who play a little bit later tonight on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. But their records prove that you have to be more than 20 games above 500 to be at least a second place team in a tougher division, in a very tough division. And forget the Baltimore Orioles. They are hot puke garbage trash. 29-54. Let's forget about them. Mike Fiers and Ryan Borucki start tomorrow at 1:07 on a rare Monday matinee game. Should be an interesting one, but a very vast difference in Fiers and Borucki's whips. Mike Fiers a 129 whip, Borucki 167, which is dangerously high. And it could have an effect. A slight effect, at least, for the Tigers offense, who admittedly put up 9 runs up on the scoreboard today at Rogers Center. All right, coming up on the Week in Review edition, episode 322 tonight at 10:30 p.m. Eastern on Spreaker, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts via iTunes. Buck Gino and I are going to discuss the Red Wings signings, Green, Vanek, and Bernier. And no, they're not necessarily. They're probably not going to sign Damian Brunner. The Pistons signed former Michigan Wolverine and Indiana Pacers guard Glenn Robinson III. Remember that guy? Part of the 2013 Michigan Wolverines national runners-up team in men's basketball. Yeah, and then the Tigers, they take only one game in their past week. They got one more in Canada, and then they head to Wrigley and then back home for 4 against the Texas Rangers. Another legacy of failure from Urinating Tree. And Buck Gino will give his analogy on Chris Bosio's racist comments and his firing by Tigers general manager Al Avila. And then we heard a report from MLive that the Tigers are committed to letting Victor Martinez, their designated hitter, their old washed-up designated hitter, finish his swan song. Jeff Moss, the founder and editor-in-chief of the Detroit Sports Rag website, pointed out on Twitter that Victor Martinez's OPS is currently 623, and his screenshot chart says it's very poor, and the chart clearly grades it an F. We're gonna have and speaking of grades, we're gonna have our What's Your Grade segment on the Red Wing signings and the Pistons signing Glenn Robinson III. And I believe that's the only segment we're going to have. So, that's it for our post game. But before we sign off, I want you to tune in to the archived episode here on Periscope. Listen to it. Hear us on Spreaker, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts via iTunes later tonight at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Write this down. Let me see here. There we go. Oh yeah, that's right. I copied in. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So there you go. Talk to you at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time.